as I live and breathe, I have the pleasure of letting you fine people know that Rob Gronkowski, retired tight end, New England Patriot, multi-time Super Bowl champion, has rejoined Tom Brady and is officially a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Now, we recorded an hour-long podcast. We sat down, we did a whole first-round mock draft for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We talked about the draft, and we mentioned briefly the possibility of Rob Gronkowski coming to Tampa. As soon as we finished recording that podcast, Rob Gronkowski signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and the deal looks something like this. He's going to honor the rest of his contract that he had with New England, 1 year, $10 million. The Buccaneers traded away a 4th-round pick. They received a 7th-round pick, and they got Rob Gronkowski out of retirement. Over 30 years old. Don't know if it's going to be worth it, but right now we're going to react to it. Welcome back to the Cannon Fire Podcast. We're live on YouTube right now. Thank you to everyone tuned in right now. We have got a ton of people in the live chat we're going to get to. Don't you worry. But I want to let everyone know that the Cannon Fire Hotline is open for your phone calls. 813-433-0323. Give us a call. We'll get you on the horn, and we'll talk about this. But I am joined by Evan Wanish. Evan, what do you make of this, dude? This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, so, and especially how fast this came about, right? So, so yeah, like you said, we finished recording the show, and immediately I said to you, I was like, man, Rappaport has tweeted, like, Gronkowski's told the Patriots he's interested. And within 25 minutes, this thing's done. Like, we were sitting here with each other on the Skype thing, 30 minutes after the show, wasn't it, Rhett?
Yeah, it was
we were just sitting here, basically waiting. Getting information.
Here's the joke. Actually, is we said you heard me say it. I said, look, as soon as I hang up this Skype call, it's going to be a done deal. And what the hell happened?
Well, we luckily didn't. We luckily didn't, right?
It is insane, dude.
Luckily,
it really is.
We didn't hang up the Skype call.
But we didn't. And we sat here, we waited it out, and what do we know? Rob Gronkowski is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. So how did this all happen is really what a lot of people are asking. I guess let's just try and break down the series of events that unfolded. So Gronk appeared a few weeks ago. He was talking with somebody. It was some NFL Network show. I can't put a finger on which one it was. But if we have to credit anyone with breaking this story, has to be NFL insider Leroy, a good boy, the dog who broke the story on Twitter. He had said there are some rumblings going around between Tampa Bay and Rob Gronkowski saying if he wants to come out of retirement, we know that the NFL would be all for it and maybe a deal can be made. We talked about it with Trevor Sikkema on our episode not that long ago. We said, is Gronk to Tampa really a thing? And Trevor said, I hate to say it this way, but never say never. I will never doubt the power of Tom Brady.
But we both basically said no.
We both basically said no, probably not. And here we are. I think the last development we had on it was Gronk was on another NFL Network show just recently. I think it was earlier today, actually. Somebody had asked him the possibility of playing in Tampa Bay, and he said, never say never. And here we are. The NFL is such a crazy place, and it's such a crazy time of year, but here we are, folks. This is where we stand as Bucs fans. We are the Tampa Bay Patriots. We're going to be called the Tampa Bay Patriots for the next 2 years.
When's Julian Edelman getting traded?
Yeah, right? But Evan, man, if this is not the Buccaneers' time, then when the hell is it going to be? Now, before you answer that, we just had 3 phone calls blow up. I guess people are calling at the same time.
They're excited.
I had 3 different numbers flash on top of the screen, and I think they all got canceled. But if you can get in there first, we will answer your call. 813-433-0323 is the Cannon Fire Hotline. Call in. Let's talk about this, folks.
Yep, so all right, so let's talk about this. What does this mean for the rest of the guys? One person that's not in the deal is O.J. Howard, right?
Yes.
So is he going to get traded? I think it's likely, and I think it's going to be for like a 3rd-round pick or so.
Yeah, I think OJ's got more of a chance to be traded, especially because
It's gonna be during the draft. Like I don't think it's gonna be. Also, one thing it could be used to move up, like in the first round.
That was going to be my follow-up question. Do you think OJ is good enough leverage for the Bucs to possibly move into the top 10? Because at this rate, they just received a 7th-round pick, which they didn't have before. I mean, there's nothing but talent on the way for the Bucs. At this point, I don't want to say it's a no-loss situation because, of course, Gronkowski could just not work out and it'd be terrible. But we've got a call from the 813. Let's get to that real quick. CFP, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Adam calling in.
Damn it. Adam, I am so sorry, dude. So this is what we were scared of. Skype crashed on me. Right? This happens every live stream call-in show we try to do. Today we just couldn't get lucky. So Adam, I apologize. I did not hang up on you. Skype just crashed. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go over here to my computer settings. We're going to open up Skype, and we're going to hopefully take some more phone calls and try and get Evan back on the horn. But Adam, I do apologize, my friend. Call back as soon as you can. 813-433-0323 is the number to call. We're going to see if we can get as many people in here connected as we can. This is a very last-minute live stream as well. Evan, are you back with us?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. We were taking a call from Evan out of Tampa and Adam out of Tampa, and Skype crashed. So I got it open back up. Everything is under control. Evan is here with us, and we've got 50 people watching with us on YouTube.
Sorry about that, Adam.
Nah, yeah. Here comes a call from the 661. Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
What up, man? This is Steve from California.
Steve from California, what's going on, brother? How are you? Your dogs are excited.
I'm freaking... Huh? No. I'm jacked, man. When I saw that Gronk thing, I was pretty...
God damn it, man. Second time in a row. So here's the deal. Apparently we just can't have Evan on when we have phone calls. I am so sorry, Steve and Callie. I really apologize, dude. I promise you guys that I am not hanging up on people. I don't not want to hear your phone calls. That's the meat and potatoes of what we're here for today, is I really want to hear what folks have to say. So Steve from California, I apologize, dude. I don't know if it's the high number of calls that we have, but right now we got a call from the 727. Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
This is John Riley from Newport Richey.
John from Newport Richey, what's going on, my man? How are you doing, and how do you feel about this Robert Gronkowski news?
I don't know, man. This feels like I have taken a long acid trip, and now I've woken up from a coma, and it's like, I'm like, what the hell? Is this the Tampa Bay Patriots now?
That's what I said earlier, man. People are going to be calling us the Tampa Bay Patriots for the next foreseeable future. And that's the thing too, is that if this all works, if the plan goes to fruition and the Bucs win another Super Bowl with Tom Brady at the helm, it's never going to be the end of it. We're going to hear that the Bucs couldn't get it done with their own players, so they had to go and scalp them from New England. But I don't know, man.
That's what teams do, man. It's like teams make moves, and it's like, hey, if it happens, we win with this team, then it has to happen. Right. Hey, a lot of the main core is still there. All you have is two different players.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all, man, but it is a huge tone shift for the Bucs, and if you would have told me this time 3 weeks ago that we would have not only Tom Brady, which we knew about, but Robert Gronkowski coming out of retirement to join him, I was 100% convinced that he was going to stay in the WWE in his contract. He seemed like he was doing okay over there, but this guy really wants to play football. Apparently, he's put on some weight. He passed his physical, according to Jay Glazer, and it is a done deal. We have got Gronk in Tampa Bay. Before I let you go and we get to more calls, you have anything else you want to say?
Yeah, hopefully we draft the offensive lineman in the first round. We're about to go all in, and go Bucs, Super Bowl champions, baby.
Hell yeah, baby, Super Bowl bound. Go Bucs. Thank you so much for calling in.
You're welcome, man.
All right, let's see if we cannot get our good co-host Evan back on the horn here. Thank you so much, John, for the call out of Newport Richey, I believe he said. Yeah. My head is going a million miles per hour, folks. Oh my God, Evan, are you there?
Yes, sir.
You answered, and I heard doot, 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 doot. We're going to try and answer this phone call from the 727. I'll be right back. CFP, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
It's Ren from St. Petersburg.
Ren from St. Petersburg, Mr. Ren Dax of the Pewtercast for people who are not familiar. What do you make of this madness?
Man, I just had to talk to somebody. So this is what national respect feels like.
I guess so, man. I mean, America's new favorite team is what I've been saying. People love the Bucs. The jersey sales prove it. And right now, the momentum going into just the offseason. Like, literally nothing has happened. Tom Brady has not played a single snap in a Bucs uniform, let alone a practice uniform, because OTAs are not happening. But people are picking the Bucs for everything. And it was a very weird 0 to 100 mile per hour pace that we have really set for ourselves here.
Yeah, and just, can you imagine, now everyone loves Tom Brady, but I think Gronk's sort of the guy that's going to become an instant fan favorite. Can you imagine how many Gronk jerseys are going to be sold now?
Oh my God, dude, you have to imagine. So let me ask this. We talked about Gronk. I just want to get your opinion on it. At this point, do you really think we carry 3 tight ends into the season, or is it a surefire thing that O.J. Howard is traded?
It's not a surefire thing. It all depends on the way the draft is going to break for the Buccaneers. And I think this is a huge part of this transaction, that people are going to start talking about as the day goes on and the next few days we build to the draft, was to be able to keep O.J. Howard. Because when the original tweet came out, like, the Bucs are talking, and I'm like, with the Patriots about Gronk, I'm thinking, okay, well, the Bucs get Gronk, and the Patriots get O.J. Howard, and that seems like a fair deal to me. You know, it's like, we got a guy who hasn't really hit his ceiling here. The Patriots really like him. Supposedly they were talking last year, but the second round pick that the Bucs wanted was too high for the Patriots. But now they've found their way, and then it comes out that they get Gronkowski. The Buccaneers get Gronkowski. The Buccaneers also get a pick back.
Yeah.
And they get to keep O.J. Howard for a 4th. So it really lets, Jason Light keep that bullet in his gun of O.J. Howard, of be able to move up and use O.J. Howard like a 3rd or a 4th round draft pick to move up if they have to get, the tackle they want in the 1st, or move from the 2nd back up into the bottom of the 1st and get somebody they like there that they can have on a 5th-year deal. So, I think the real key for me to this transaction is being able to keep O.J. Howard to have that chip to play on draft night.
Absolutely. Now, before we go any further, I am going to attempt to add my co-host Evan Wanish back to the call, because every single phone call we've had today has gone perfectly until I have tried to add him back to the call. So if I can do that without Skype crashing, I will talk to you here in about 5 seconds. Just hang tight. Evan Wanish. I'm going to click add, folks. Here we go. Moment of truth. And I believe we have got him on the horn. Evan, are you there with us, man? Actually, it says he's still calling, but Ren, you can still hear me.
I can still hear you.
Cool, so we should have Evan in here momentarily. There he is, Mr. Evan Wanish. Are you on the horn with us?
Yep, how you guys doing?
Thank God.
I'm telling you, I'm your good luck charm. Like, I was the first caller who's actually made it work, a couple, weeks or months ago when you guys were first doing this. So, yeah, next time you go live, just DM me and say, hey, give us a call.
Yeah, we'll make sure everything goes swimmingly.
Yeah, everything works. But
so,
yeah, it's so weird. Like, we know each other. Like, we've all met each other personally. I'm not sure. Have I met you, Evan, in person?
Not in person, I don't think. No.
No. Yeah, I didn't get to meet you when you came down for training camp a couple years ago. But, like, you guys are younger than I am, and it is like, sort of like the last caller said, was it's like you woke up, like, I walk out of coronavirus, and it like nothing's the same.
Yeah.
This is not this, like, what's going on. When we heard those rumors about, hey, all these, free agents are calling the Bucs, and then everyone's like, oh, that's gonna be great, and then we kind of poo-pooed it because nothing happened. Well, hey, guess what? It happened. We just had Scott Reynolds on. The last question for me to him was, like, who's the guy the Bucs are going to add? Give us that player that everybody knows that after the draft, who are they going to bring in to shore up this roster? And, he talked about running backs, but there was no talk about Rob Gronkowski. But, lo and behold, here it is. The Tom Brady effect, shows its head and comes up big for the Buccaneers.
And that's the craziest part, is just, I know we said this before, but again, how fast it all happened. There were some reports that came out, some rumors. Gronk was on NFL Network saying, oh, well, you never know. But the way that this all happened and how quickly Gronk was able to get his physical test back, and Jay Glazer coming out with updates, and of course Rap Sheet with the huge bomb just out of nowhere that I don't think anybody expected to hear today. They had to have been sitting on this for a little while. Like, there had to have been talks for at least the past few weeks. They knew this was going to happen.
Yeah, I was going to push back a little bit there about how fast it happened, because the rumors have been going on for almost pushing 2 weeks now.
Right.
So, with sort of this, without, the scouts going to pro days and talking to other scouts and comparing notes and sort of, having chit-chat over beers and, agents getting things out, like, that's sort of all been really tampered down this year. So, yes, to us, it was like, hey, this might happen, and then 15 minutes later, oh, it did happen. That's really fast. But I think that, sort of laying the first thing, like, you don't just call Gronk and go, hey, I got Tom on the line. Hey, it's me, BA. I got Jason here and Tom on the line. Do you want to play for the Bucks? And he goes, yeah. Okay, well, hang on. Hey, Bill, this is BA. Gronk wants to, it doesn't happen in 15 minutes. So yeah, it was a real. It seemed like it happened very quickly, but like you alluded to at the end of the question, was I think it's been in the works for a while. But I was with you guys, when you talked to Trevor, like I'm like, yeah, I mean, it's like pipe dream. It was just like Brady coming to the Bucks. Pipe dream. Yeah, it'd be great, but yeah, I don't know. Gronk coming to the Bucks. Oh, sure, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I will say, now the talk's like, well, when's Julian Edelman coming? I don't want Julian Edelman here.
Yeah,
I don't think he can I don't think he can separate anymore, and that's pretty much it. And honestly, with Gronk's $10 million, and if they don't get rid of Howard, because how would that look? I mean, really. I mean, if like the draft, if a tackle falls to them at 14, and they could sit there at 2 and get have 2-3 running backs on the board, and you go into the season with O.J. Howard, Gronk, Evans, Godwin, and like Swift or Taylor or Clyde Edwards-Helaire or plus Rojo. I mean, like, come on, man.
It's literally shaping up to be a team that I put together on Madden franchise mode. Just ridiculously unstoppable. I mean, all the weapons. Obviously, you're not going to know until they get on the field and we see it translate. But I hate to use this term because it seems like it's been the Bucs' term for the past 5 years. But on paper, holy shit, what else? What else can you really do? Evan, what do you make of all this?
Yeah, they've been burned by that on paper statement for a while. I mean, yeah, Madden players can't even do it right now because Gronkowski's not even in the game. So, I mean, yeah, this was just like Ren said. We know that. And especially since he had already, like, Jay Glazer comes out and says, oh, yeah, he took a physical for the Bucs. Like, you already had to know. If you're already taking a physical, like, those talks had to happen weeks ago. And I'm sure during that interview today, he probably knew that it was happening. So.
Now, Ren.
Yeah, and.
Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead. No, please.
I put out that tweet the other day. That's what 70% of the NFL draft is going to be here in a few days. But we got a bunch of calls coming in, so before we let you go, is there anything else you wanted to cover? Or just give a quick shout-out to. We're going to try and jump into a lot of the other stuff.
No, not at all, man. I was just like all the other people waiting on the phone, like jacked, and I'm here, at my house, my girl's like asleep, and I'm like, I have to, like, I either have to go for a run or I have to go talk to somebody. And I saw your guys, notification pop up, and I switched over, and thank God it was a call-in show. So thank you for letting me, talk about this Gronkowski acquisition because, woo!
It's all that
good time to Tampa Bay.
It's all that pent-up energy, but I am with you, man. Thank you so much for calling in. We are just as excited as you are. We're going to get to some of the other calls. Ladies and gentlemen, by the way, make sure you check out the Pewtercast. Those guys still putting out some great content, as always. Ren, we will talk to you soon, buddy. Go Bucks.
Go Bucks.
All right, 813-433-0323. Cannon Fire Hotline is still open if you can get in there. We are definitely going to take your call. Evan, are you still on the horn with us?
I'm still here, brother.
This is just, it's so much, you know?
So, to me, this is more shocking than the Brady thing.
It really is. Now, we got another
I
call
think just because of how fast it came.
Other call from the 978. Let me pick this up real quick. Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, I'm Rocco from Boston.
Hey, Rocco from Boston. How are you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How about you?
I am doing fantastic, honestly. A lot better than I think I was going to be doing. But with the news coming out, it's a huge thing.
Same here. Do you guys mind if I ask you a non-Gronk question?
No, go right ahead, man.
All right. I was thinking, now obviously Gronk's blocked for Brady a lot in his life, we could say. So I was wondering, with the way the Patriots shape their backfield with, like, multiple backs, like Sony Michel, James White, all those guys, should we attempt to do the same thing and maybe go with, like, a J.J. Taylor late, maybe an A.J. Dillon?
Okay. Let me see if I can add Evan to this call really quick without Skype crashing, and then we'll answer your question. Let me see real quick.
No
Click the
problem.
add button, moment of truth. All right, we got Evan on the way. But that's a really, really good question, man. And it's something else as well. I think up until a few years ago, the Pats also used a fullback, right?
Correct.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
Yeah, correct. I have to watch the Pats up here, so I'm used to seeing their fullbacks.
Yeah, it's definitely something you don't see from a lot of NFL teams, but you had talked about that rotation of running backs, and if Gronk, can still block as well as we hope he can, then would they want to mix that backfield up a little bit? Now, Evan, are you here with us?
Yes, sir.
Awesome, man. Did you hear the question?
I did not. Can you repeat it, please?
Yeah, I was just wondering, since we got Gronk and Brady here now, should we maybe pass on a running back in the second and then maybe try and get a J.J. Taylor or like a Zach Moss, A.J. Dillon later and try and shape our backfield similar to what the Patriots have done the past couple of years?
Yeah, I do like Moss and Dillon. Personally, I wouldn't mind that at all. I still do think they're going to go running back early, but if I'm running the team, I personally wouldn't mind bypassing a running back and possibly loading up at another position. But like I said, Moss is probably the name I like the most out of that group. I think he's pretty underrated, but I mean AJ Dillon as like a bruiser would be a pretty good option too.
Right. Yeah, I think that would just be. I think that'd be interesting. Obviously, our team's going to be very similar to what we're going to have a bunch of Patriots players, so I figured maybe shaping our backfield. And Rojo is great out of the backfield, so we already have that started. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think Ronald Jones, looking for him to shift into a bigger role this season is really big. I mean, if you can give him 15, 20 carries a game, and let's say he catches a few more passes out of the backfield, then that's going to be huge, and I'm sure they'll have a lot more room for flexibility. But I think that move ultimately depends on how much more we see out of Ronald Jones this season. Last year, he had some good games. He was robbed of some 100-plus yard games. I think he can put it together. But if he can, it could be pretty dangerous. Rocco, we appreciate you calling in, brother.
Yeah, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Go Bucks.
Thank you.
All right. I think I hung up on everybody. Whoops. Let me get Evan back on the call here. Oh, this is disastrous, folks. We appreciate you calling in and hanging tough. The Cannon Fire Hotline is still open, 813-433-0323. Got you back. I didn't mean to hang up on everybody. I meant to just drop him out of the call, but it is what it is.
I was wondering. I was like, I looked up and I was like, oh.
I'm glad we've been able to keep this thing afloat up until this point. Skype crashed and we opened it right the hell back up. It's almost like we know what we're doing at this point.
Almost.
We got another call coming in from the 575. Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
From New Mexico, man. My name's Steven.
Steven from New Mexico. What's going on, my man? How are you doing?
God's good, man. Just over here at work watching a little bit of podcast.
Yeah, that's awesome. We appreciate you tuning in, bro. So big news for the Bucs. Gronk is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer officially rejoining Tom Brady. What do you make of all of this?
I got my pros and cons about that, man. For one, Gronk, he took a year off. He's not as fresh.
Yep.
You got O.J. Howard that's in here. I mean, that's my biggest thing is that's kind of like, well, I know he's going to fit in because him and Brady have that connection, but you got two younger guys that are over there that can play probably just as good as Gronk right now.
Yeah.
Especially O.J. Howard, and just letting him go, if they do let him go. I don't know if that's any word or what. That's why I tune into y'all guys quite a bit to give me the info about it. But if they were to, that's my thing. Hopefully they don't trade him.
Yeah.
But my thing with Gronk, though, man. I mean, he does his thing. He knows what he's doing. I mean, he won and won a couple. He won and won a couple championships. So yes, that's good on our end, but letting go of somebody that's younger and a little bit that's on a rise to get better and is the future, I think that's kind of a mistake on my end. You know what I mean?
No, I get you 100%, and I think you brought up a great point, not only because Gronk did take a year off, he's not necessarily in the football shape that he was when he left. Now, there were reports coming out that says Gronk has been working out, he's been putting on some weight to get back into football. I think this is something he knew he was going to do for at least a little while. I want to guess a month-ish, Gronk kind of decided, I'm going to go play with Tom in Tampa. But, no, I think Gronk's going to be in okay enough shape once the season rolls around. I don't think he'll be nearly as big as he was when he played with New England, and maybe that'll change the way they use him. But over to O.J. Howard as well. We had talked about this with Trevor Sycamore on our last episode, and, I think there's a lot of people who are with you in the train that they don't want O.J. to go. I think O.J. is an incredible athlete. I think he can go to any other team in the NFL and be a top 5 tight end, especially the way that these teams use tight ends. You look at, San Francisco with George Kittle. Now, O.J. Howard cannot block like George Kittle can, but he can be used like he is and rack up all of these yards in a season, things like that. But it just seems like for some reason in Tampa, he has not been able to be consistently good. He has shown us flashes. I think last year he only had 1 or 2 games where I would say, man, that was a good game by O.J., but it's kind of like, if all of this time has passed and things really don't seem to be working, we still have Cam Brate, who is just as good as ever. I mean, he had that unforgiving drop last year on 4th down. I think that was in the Texans game. It was one of those games that we lost.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I really like Cameron Brate. Cameron Brate's probably one of my favorite tight ends that Tampa Bay has had. I mean, I can cuss, can I?
Yeah, absolutely, man.
My mom and dad, my brother, they're all Cowboys fans, man. And I went with them over there to watch the game. We watched Tampa Bay, and then Cameron Brate caught that one-handed touchdown, and then from there on, I was like, man, this dude is something different. He's something else. But to get rid of those, I mean, to find one of those two, but to let go of one of those two, I mean, it'd be a hard thing. But I understand what you're saying about O.J. Howard. But and I heard the last caller talk about, trying to build up a whole thing like New England. But for what we got, this is a whole different coaching system. It's everything's different. I really think that the more weapons we got, keep tight ends in there fresh, the better we are. You can't double cover anybody. So that's my biggest, that's how I'm seeing that part right there.
That's fair. What do you think, Evan?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think obviously Howard has a ton of talent. I think Brate's pretty much reached his potential, but you know what you're getting with Cameron Brate. You're getting a consistent guy that, while he did have that backbreaking drop or whatever, but he's going to catch the football. He did restructure his contract a little bit this offseason, which makes me believe that O.J. Howard is the more likely one to be traded. But I mean, if they would keep all three, I mean, that would have to be the best tight end room in possibly the history of the NFL, right? I mean, that would be that would be something.
Three-headed monster, man. I mean, at that point, if you go into the season with that many tight ends, first off, it would be nice to keep everybody fresh, ready to go, but push has to come to shove, and I think it would be hard to spread the wealth that much, especially just because of the tools that we already have at wide receiver. If you can get Ronald Jones up and running, I think there's a lot that this offense could do. And I'm not saying that there isn't a place for O.J. Howard, but I think it would be easy for one of those 3 tight ends, and one of them would not be Gronk, to get lost in the mix. So we appreciate you calling in, man. Listen all the way over there in New Mexico. Thank you so much, and go Bucks.
I appreciate it. Go Bucks, man.
Alrighty. Phone line is still open, 813-433-0323. And it's really funny, folks, because I brought this up before, and I'm going to bring it up again. We did release a new episode a little while ago. So once this live stream is over, you should go check that out. Evan unveiled his official...
You got 2 episodes coming at you.
Yeah, a little double feature from the CFP guys today. I like it. I didn't expect to sit down at my computer for 2 or 3 hours talking Tampa Bay football, but I love to do it any day of the week.
So here's Adam Schefter. It said 2018 Rob Gronkowski trade. The Lions received Gronkowski in a 2nd-round pick, and the Patriots has received a 1st-round pick and a 2nd-round pick. But of course, Gronkowski said that he would retire if he didn't play with Tom Brady. But now today he's traded to the Buccaneers for a 4th-round pick. So
and I think it's just Brady. I truly think
it is
Brady.
It definitely is.
There was another thing I saw that said he did not want to come out of retirement to play anywhere else in the league. So we just have to wait and see.
And that's why the price is so low. The Patriots had no leverage.
We got another call.
No leverage at all.
Oh, actually, we had 2 calls coming at the same time, and they both canceled each other out. So.
Oh man, it's like nobody wins with a headbutt.
I see all these calls. Like I see so many different phone numbers up on top of the screen, but I can't really do anything about it because they just flashed so quickly. So if you if you can still get in, 813-433-0323 is the number for the Cannon Fire hotline. Go ahead and call in. We'll talk Gronk. We'll take a few more phone calls, then we'll wrap this thing up.
We will be doing an episode talking about Gronkowski. We will be doing it.
Yes.
This is just a gut reaction thing, sort of. We will be doing an episode where we sit down and actually talk about it. So.
CFP, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
My name is Zach. I'm calling from Athens, Georgia.
Zach from Georgia. What's going on, my man? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I tried calling a few times, but good to get through. So, obviously, I'm from Boston. Grew up in West Roxbury, and, moved down here. It's pretty crazy, this Gronk news, but I think it makes really good sense for the Bucs. And I got a trade scenario I think would be pretty good.
Okay, lay it on us. Tell me what you got.
So, of the teams that are tight end needy, one that I think would be really good to trade with the Bucs, and it's coming as a Pats fan, but I love Tom and I want the best for Tom. I think a good trade would be O.J. Howard and maybe like a 3rd rounder or something. Probably just O.J. Howard, just because we would be in the point of leverage as a Tampa Bay team or whatever. Trade O.J. Howard to the Redskins for Trent Williams.
You want to talk about a win now move?
They have no tight end.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, they released Jordan Reed, and they don't really have anybody. Here's the thing with Trent Williams, and I think Trent Williams is a fantastic player. But the issue is that the money. It's just he's going to need a new contract, and I just don't know how they're going to make that money work. I mean, salary cap's turned off all day, every day, right? That's easy, and I mean it's a great thought. It really is. It would shore up. I mean, their whole draft plan. They could literally pick whoever they wanted to, pretty much in the 1st round, if they were able to get Trent Williams. But yeah, I just don't. I think it would be fun. I just don't know how likely it is.
Do you think, what if they, because I'm guessing, just from reading, the tea leaves and whatnot, I'm guessing Gronk is probably going to restructure his deal when all this, finally goes all the way through. I'm just guessing that, educated guess, more than likely. And then what if they did get Trent Williams, just being on a team this stacked, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers offense right now looks like, when you take control of Madden, and you just put every good player on one team, it's ridiculous. So, like, don't you think, like, being part of that culture and being with Tom and being able to, more than likely at least get pretty far in the playoffs at the very, I mean, that's got to be the floor at this point, right? Don't you think he'd be like, I've been with the sucky-ass Redskins this whole time. Let me go ahead and, win a couple times,
I think he would definitely. I mean, it would definitely possibly be appealing to him. I'm not sure how much of a pay cut he would really take, but I think it would be appealing to a lot of veteran players. Because they're like they notice what's going on, right? They know what Tampa has now, and they know that they still have draft picks and stuff. Like, it's not like they're a team with no real future. So, I mean, is it possible? Sure. I just don't think it's going to happen. Gronkowski possibly restructuring. Go ahead.
What's the Bucs cap space like right now?
So they had
have like $20 million or something like that.
No, they had about 14 or 15 million before the Gronkowski thing. So he was due 10 million. I mean, you could be right. He could have restructured, and there's ways to create money like that. So there's more ways, but I don't know if they're done. But
the cap is a myth.
Yeah, pretty much.
I mean, the cap.
If the Saints can do all that stuff, yeah.
It's like the iPhone cloud.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We appreciate you calling in, man. Thank you for listening out of Boston, and we're glad you're supporting. I don't know if people give you crap for the whole bandwagon thing, but dude, we're gonna take fans anywhere we can get them.
So much. So much.
Fuck those people. Have you seen Raymond James Stadium these past few years? Have you seen the amount of people that try and fill up the stadium year after year? We need fans wherever we can get them, so we're glad we got people like you tuning in.
Yeah, I mean, and I live in Georgia, so like I'm not even that far. So I mean, that's a easy drive.
Hell yeah, man. We'll look forward to seeing you at some of the games this fall, excuse me. And thank you so much for calling in, man.
Most definitely. Have a good day.
You too. Alrighty. So a lot of people are in the live chat right now saying that they're trying to call in and it says that it is unavailable. If you try to call in and you get a tone that says unavailable, it just means we're already on the phone with somebody. We don't have a way to fill up a caller queue. We don't have a line set up. So it's literally just first come, first serve on the phone line. So 813-433-0323 is the number to call. And here we go. Call coming in from the 772. CFP, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, my name is Tyler from the Treasure Coast.
Hey, Tyler, what's going on, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. At first, I was a little hesitant reading all the reports about it, but now that it's actually happened, I think it might be a good thing.
I think so, too. I think it really is something that doesn't necessarily expand the Buccaneers Super Bowl window, because I still don't think it's going to be any longer than the next 2 or 3 years. But I think it definitely helps us get to that point. And what I like about it, what I can take away, is familiarity for Brady. That's what's important. Is if, he can have a guy he's throwing the ball to that he already has a connection with, that he already has won multiple Super Bowls with, then it's just going to make his job down here that much easier. And I think, people are going to have a tough time choosing who to cover because you've got all these options between Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Rob Gronkowski, plus Cam Brate, who can sneak out there and make a play. I think it's a lot of good things. I was pissed at first, but knowing that the Buccaneers came out of this with an extra draft pick, and they still have O.J. Howard, really just lightens things up for me because, of course, O.J. can still be used as trade leverage later on, maybe during the draft, but I think it'll end up being a good move.
I just hope that he stayed in good enough shape to come back and still play like Gronkowski. Hopefully that we'll see the same type of player. I'm worried about a slight decline, but again, it's Brady throwing to him, so we'll see.
I think with the combo of Gronk taking a year off, dropping all of the weight, we talked about a little while ago just how skinny he looked over the last few months. Rumors are out that he has been putting weight back on so he can be in football shape by the time the season rolls around. But I'm kind of with you there too. I don't know if we're going to see the same Gronkowski that we saw in New England. I would expect a little decline, But at the same time, it's still Rob Gronkowski. It's still a guy who I think can go out there and do what he was doing before in just a new offense. But he still has Tom Brady throwing him touchdowns, so at the end of the day, I'll be happy. Evan, what do you think? Do you think we'll get a new and improved Gronk? We going to get the same old thing, or are we going to see a little decline?
No, I think it's fair to assume that he's going to decline a little bit. I mean, like I said, he hasn't played for a year. He's, he's going to be 31 years old. So I do think that you'll see a little bit of a decline, but I still think he can play. I mean, he's a freak athlete. Obviously, he has been put back on the weight, and I think he's still got a ton of talent. So I think he can still play. I wouldn't expect prime Gronkowski numbers, but I also I don't think it's fair to expect prime Gronkowski numbers. So it'll definitely be interesting to see what type of player they get, but I still think they're getting a good football player.
Well, another reason why I was a little bit hesitant about it is because I really wanted to see what OJ could do with Brady throwing passes to him. I wanted to see it happen.
Yeah, I think, and that's another thing too, is people brought up, OJ potentially hitting his stride this year. I think that's very important to think about, is OJ could have had a really good year. I'm not going to sit here and say that he won't, because we don't know for a fact if he's going to be traded yet, but things are kind of looking like it will be. I think he can be an asset for another team, but yeah, Brady totally could have gotten the most out of OJ Howard, but will it happen in a Bucs uniform at this point? Who knows? But right now, we just know we have Gronk, and I know for sure that we have Cam Brate headed into the season, so we really just have to look at what we have and how we can get the best strengths out of both of those guys. But definitely excited for the season, and I'm hoping that Cam Brate can really come around and have a good year this year. He's been solid for a while, but I hope he gets the credit he deserves this year. There's going to be a lot of eyes on him.
Yeah, I mean, I guess only positive things come out of it. So, hey, he's a Buccaneer. I'm all for it.
Hell yeah, let's go win us a Super Bowl, man. We appreciate you calling in. We'll talk to you next time. Go Bucs.
Thanks, Pat. Go Bucs.
Alrighty, guys. We are going to take 2 more calls. Do you think 2 calls is reasonable?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll take 2 more phone calls. So the next 2 people who can get on the line, 813-433-0323 is the number to call. Let's talk some Buccaneers. If you have any questions about Gronk, if you have any questions about things unrelated, if you just want to call in and cuss us out, then do it. But here's a call from the 407 coming in. Cannon Fire Podcast, thank you for calling. What's your name? Where are you calling in from? Hello, hello. Oh, well, he hung up. So we got another call from the 910 coming in. No, we don't. He hung up as well. We got another call from the 941, maybe? Cannon Fire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Hey, this is Joey from Palmetto. How y'all doing?
Doing good, Joe. How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good right now. After the moves they've been making this offseason.
Yeah, big moves for the Buccaneers this offseason. I think this is the offseason for a lot of the people who have complained the past few years that the Bucs don't do enough in the offseason. Well, how about the moves they're making this year, man? They are putting everybody in the league on notice, and I'm excited. First time the Bucs have been this talked about in quite some time.
Yeah, I've never seen the Bucs talked about like this. It's been pretty crazy, to be honest. I have a question for you two.
Alrighty.
All right.
What do y'all think about the idea of O.J. Howard moving out to the outside wide receiver and put Chris Godwin in the slot a little bit? Because that's where he played a lot of last season at.
I mean, I don't hate the idea. I think Chris Godwin's going to get most of his playing time out of the slot again. That's, where he was just the best last year. It was really all he did. I like OJ, and I like the idea of him being another wide receiver per se, but I don't think he really has the speed to make that move translate very well. I think he's got a lot of tight end abilities and traits about him. I don't know if a move to wide receiver would be super good for him career-wise. What do you say, Evan?
Yeah, I think, Godwin, obviously we know he can have success in the slot, but Howard would be, instead of going up against a linebacker, he'd be going up against, a corner most likely. And while he could have the size advantage. Go ahead.
He'll have the size battle. He'll beat up anybody
Yeah.
one-on-one. But it's like, I feel like the guy's going to contain him. He's just going to stay with him step for step.
Yeah. So I think I do think that he would have the size, but just the speed advantage he wouldn't really have anymore. So it's an interesting idea, but I just don't think that's what the plan is right now.
Yeah, because I like Howard personally, but doesn't seem to have been working last year. But I think he can improve a lot with Brady.
Yeah, I think Brady was really going to help him hit his stride. We kind of said that with the last caller. I think there's a lot of room for O.J. Howard to improve. I don't think he's a bad player whatsoever. I just think so far in Tampa Bay, he has shown us some good things. His rookie year in the second season, he had some flashes, but it just, overall, I would say his career in Tampa has been a little underwhelming. I think the potential is there for him, no doubt, but, for my sake, I would like to see O.J. Howard go to another team and play really well than I would like to see him stay in Tampa Bay and then get lost in a 3 tight end rotation. But at the end of the day, we just have to wait and see. But I think O.J. is some good trade leverage for the Bucs looking to make some moves, especially on draft night. So I guess the draft is really going to tell us everything we need to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, my man, we appreciate you calling in. We're going to get to one more call before we wrap this stream up, but thank you for calling, and go Bucks.
No problem. Go Bucks.
Alrighty, one more call, and then we're going to wrap this stream up. We've been live for damn near an hour, and we appreciate all 65 of you watching right now over on YouTube. If you have not already, make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can get notified whenever we go live or whenever we put out a new episode. And for those who didn't hear it, we did put out a new episode today, 10 minutes before the Gronkowski news broke.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with Gronkowski. But.
So make sure you go check that out. That is our draft special. We got one more call coming in from the 910. Canifire Podcast, what's your name? Where are you calling in from?
Long Spain, NC.
You calling out North Carolina, you said?
Yeah.
What's going on, man? What do you think of all this Gronk news?
Hey, I don't like the Bucks. I hate the Bucks. I'm a Panthers fan, but they're going to be they're going to be in the NFC race. I believe it's going to be between them and the Saints. The NFC South is going to be a bloodbath, and I believe the winner of the NFC South will be in the Super Bowl. I don't know who that is. I don't like the Saints. I don't like the Bucks. I don't like the Falcons. But whoever the winner is will be in the Super Bowl. I said whoever wins the NFC South will be in the Super Bowl. And, that's all I got to say.
Hey,
that's all I got to say.
I'll tell you what, man. I don't like the fact that you don't like the Bucks, but we respect the hell out of you for calling in. It's a weird year for Carolina this year. You guys have a lot of stuff that's up in the air. I think they got some good pieces. I think new head coach is going to translate well. We appreciate you calling in, but you're right, bro. The NFC South, it's going to be must-watch TV. You got Brady versus Breeze twice a year. Matt Ryan, he's not a quarterback to sneeze at. He's not the greatest, but I don't think he's the worst either. I think Teddy Bridgewater can get it done with you guys, but we appreciate you calling in, man, and saying all the good things you said about the Bucks, even though you can't stand us.
Okay. All right.
All right, there he goes. He hung up on his own accord. And with that being said, I think that's the last phone call we're going to take. No Bucks fan, a Panthers fan calling in to tell us that we're going to be a scary team this year. That's all the validation I need, right?
There you go.
But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into this live stream. Thank you so much to everybody who has called in to the Cannon Fire Hotline and the people who are still calling in. We really do appreciate you guys. It is shaping up to be one of the craziest seasons we have ever seen for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and I am so excited for it. But I'll tell you this before we go. Wash your goddamn hands so we can have this happen. Stay in your house. I don't care if your state is reopening up. Do what you need to do to make sure you stay away from this coronavirus madness. We need to get these cases trending downward, which they are. and we need to be ready for football come fall. I don't care if it happens in front of 0 fans. I don't care if it happens in front of a filled, sold-out Raymond James Stadium. We need football in Tampa Bay. The American people need football. And ironically, the year that all this happens is, the year that the Bucs are putting together one of the best teams we have seen in years. But regardless, folks, we are going to be here with you every step of the way putting out Buccaneer content, and we appreciate every single one of you who have supported us up until this point. Evan, any last words, my man?
No, just go ahead, go back and listen to that draft episode. It's still relevant. We don't really, luckily, we didn't really talk much about, the 4th round. So,
yeah.
We talk rounds 1, 2, 3. Don't really talk 4 much. So, just go ahead and go back and check that out for us. And hope you enjoy it. Hope, it's my top 15 mock draft. I didn't have the Bucs taking the tight end at 14. So, it's a crazy time right now, and what's going on in the world, and specifically, with the Bucs, it's crazy. It's something that a lot of people didn't expect, and I certainly didn't expect. So, yeah, drafts on Thursday. It's crazy. Yeah, it's already here, but it's gonna be a wild ride.
Hell yeah, it is, man. I am buckled up and ready for every single bit of it. So thank you so much for listening to the Cannon Fire podcast here on YouTube as we were live for you guys today. Thank you to everyone who called into the Cannon Fire hotline. Keep in mind, the Cannon Fire hotline is open 24/7, 813-433-0323. Call in, leave us a voicemail. Give us your voicemails about how you feel about Gronk. We'll play them on the next episode, which is coming out in the next few days. And make sure you get around to listening to our draft special episode as well, where Evan unveiled his official mock draft for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and what he thinks is going to happen the first 15 picks of the first round. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you follow the show, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. All of those are Cannon Fire Podcast. You can find myself on social media, Instagram and Twitter at Redicus. If you follow me, I will follow you back. And you can find my co-host Evan on Twitter at EvanNFL and Instagram at BucsWave, the #1 Buccaneers fan page. Shout out to our sponsors at Pinecrest Printing and Signs, staying open during this terrible time we live in. They're making sure things happen for small businesses all around the Tampa Bay business community. If you have a brand and you want to take it to the next level, Pinecrest Printing is the way to go. 813-684-5444, or you can check out the website at pinecrestprinting.com. I am Rhett Matthew, signing off from my co-host Evan Wanish, and we thank you so much for listening to our show. Gronk is a Tampa Bay Buccaneer. Let's go win a damn Super Bowl. We'll talk to you guys next time. Go Bucs.